Welcome to White City Place Connect, where we're offering occupiers of White City Place a live platform from which to learn and engage from the comfort and safety of your own homes. Welcome everybody. Again, my name is Dora. You probably know that by now. Another Wednesday lunchtime. We're going to begin today's yoga session either on our knees or in a pose called Virasana. You could also come into a cross-legged position, effectively any seated position that works for you. If you have a couple of blocks, which you may not have, and don't worry if you haven't, you could try Virasana, placing them widthways in between your ankles. I'll just show you sideways. And moving the calf muscles out of the way to make a little bit more space in the joint capsules of the knees and coming to sit down. Now you don't want any pain in your knees in this pose. It's actually quite a therapeutic stretch for the knees, even if you do have something going on. It may be quite a stretch for the tops of the shins and the feet. So you could add an extra block or an extra cushion, or you could just come and sit if you don't have these available, maybe onto something a little bit softer if your bones of your feet are aggravated into thunderbolt pose. So just shins together here. So just fiddle around a little bit more, make yourself comfortable. The most important thing is to have a long, tall spine without having to use too much muscular effort to achieve this. You could even rest your back on the wall, or on the bed, or the sofa, whatever's available to you. And let's turn the palms down on the thighs. Lengthen up through the back of the neck, base of the skull. Travel your awareness over the crown of the head and soften the face from the hairline to the chin, lightly closing your eyes, and your gaze is turning inwards and down towards the heart space. And just allow a few moments to arrive. Settling the body, settling the breath, settling the mind. Just allowing all of that agitation and stimulation, thought processes to drop down. Like you've agitated some water and all the sediment that's swirling around starts to settle to the bottom. And the water on the top becomes clear. Allow your mind to rest on the gentle ebb and flow of your breath, just in and out through the nose. This being the anchor to your present moment when your mind pulls you away, as it will. You will be distracted, either from something internal or something external throughout this practice, and that's fine. We recognize that. And just become willing to bring your mind back to the breath a little quicker each time. Take a longer inhalation and breathe wide. Feel the body expanding. As you exhale, breathe long, tailbone descends, crown of the head rises. Inhaling, breathing wide, side body expands, front and back body extends. Exhale, breathe long from the navel, tailbone descends, crown of the head rises. Breathe wide on the inhale. Long on the exhale, rooting into the earth, reaching towards the heavens. Take 3 more breaths in this way. You finished your own 3 breaths. Bring your hands to your heart in prayer. And press right and left palms together gently, feeling the front, back and the side body moving towards the spine. Lift the pelvic floor, that little mesh of muscles that connects to the pubis, the tailbone, and the two ischial tuberosities, the two sit bones, like a little diamond shape, like a hammock. But notice as you do this, if the buttocks are clenching or the tops of the thighs have become tense. See if you can relax the outer muscles and just that little internal lift through those pelvic floor muscles. Let the elbows float up, create a little tension across the pectoral muscles. But at the same time, there's a downward action through the sit bones and upward lift to your core. If you need to change the position of your legs, go ahead. Interlace your fingers, turn the palms away. Take an inhale as the breath rises into the chest. Exhale, melt the shoulders. Continue to breathe here, softening the lower ribs back if this has caused the rib cage to puff forward, and bringing the earlobes over the tops of the shoulders. Notice how the heart and lungs have to work a little harder here to pump the blood up into the extremities, up into the hands that are above the heart. Take an inhale, lift out to the waist, and as you exhale, rotate towards the left. Drive your left thigh bone and knee forward. And as this is a twist, the heart moves towards the left and the navel pulls back around towards the right. So there's an opposition of movement through your inner body. Let's open up the arms, back of the right hand comes over the thigh. Left arm can either wrap around the back of the waist, maybe even tucking the fingers onto the thigh. Or if you need a little bit help with the uplift, fingers come to the floor behind you. Hip bones are flush to the front as the heart turns to the left, navel to the right, breathing softly. Reach your left arm all the way up and over, crossing above the elbow juncture, and folding either backs of the hands or palms of the hands together. Lift the elbows a little, but wrap the shoulder blades back towards the spine. Garudasana arms, eagle arms. Take 3 little circles of the elbows, one way, massaging the trapezius muscles, the upper back muscles around the shoulder blades, and 3 little rotations in the opposite way. Come to the center. Imagine you were trying to pull your forearms away from one another, creating a good tension, and then release the arms down as you exhale. Take a big inhale. Palms together, grow even taller, lifting up from the perineum through the pelvic floor as the thumbs draw down towards the heart. Exhale. Interlace the hands with the opposite little finger on the outside. Turn the palms away. Take a big inhale. And exhale, melt the shoulders. Soften the lower ribs. And if you're a bit of a propper, if you have a tendency to overarch the back and you feel like you're just sitting on the surface, try to yield the sit bones down a little bit more. Press the upper arms back, squeeze the elbow points in towards one another as you breathe. Inhale, lift out to the waist. Exhale, rotate towards the right, driving your right thigh bone and knee forward. Open up your arms. Back of the left hand comes over the thigh. Right arm wraps around the waist, maybe tucking the fingers. Tailbone long, heart lifts. And for this to be a twist rather than a rotation, the heart center rotates towards the right, the navel around towards the left. Lovely, couple more breaths here. Reach your right arm back, circle it all the way over, crossing above the elbow juncture, back to the hands or palms of the hands together in Garudasana. Take the forearms away, wrap the shoulder blades towards the spine. Just free up the neck, maybe a little jiggle of the head. Let it float off the top of the spine. And 3 little circles with the elbows in one direction. 3 circles in the opposite direction. Coming back to the center, pulling the forearms against one another, creating that good tension around the upper back, and then releasing. Just allowing the arms to float out to the side now. Flexing the heels of the hands, push the walls away. So if you wiggled your thumbs still looking forward, you could just see them in your peripheral vision. Extend the fingers, angle them down, stretch the backs of the wrists. Extend the fingers, palms up, and angle the fingers down. So getting a nice stretch through the forearms here. That gets surprisingly tight. Take another inhale. We're about to come off the knees now. Exhale, thumbs draw down towards your heart. And we'll make our way out of this. Just moving any props that you may have off your mats. Your mat is clear. Coming onto hands and knees. Wrists underneath the shoulders, hips above the knees. Lift the back of the abdominal wall up towards the inner spine. So you're supporting your lower back. Press the tops of your feet down. As you inhale, you're going to raise your right arm up, look up towards the thumb. As you exhale, sweep the arm through. It hovers above the earth as you thread the needle. Inhale, press into your left palm, right arm rises. It will twist into the upper body. Exhale, feed it through. It's hovering above the earth. Inhaling, maybe looking up. Exhaling, this time we're settling the right arm to the floor, maybe the right side of the face or head. Keep the feet grounded, keep the spine reaching forward vertically here. Support your neck with your arm and hand. And if you feel like, you're going to stretch your left leg back. So I'm just on the toenails, the metatarsals there. This is a bit of a roller, this one, so don't worry if you roll out of the pose. Make sure there's no furniture in your way. To go further, you could raise the leg up, flexing the foot. Keep the left hip rotating forward. Enjoy the wobble. And taking the toes back to the floor. Push into your left palm coming up. Look down and place the right hand in line with your knee. And take the left foot to the floor. Let your right toes glide back if you need to. Left arm comes onto the side of your body. Shorten a little between the navel and the pubis. And as you look down towards the right hand, soften the right elbow and hug the shoulder blade onto the ribcage. Shift the weight over if you feel you can and lift the leg, flexing the foot. Reach your fingers towards the ankle. On the inhale, place the foot down. Reach the arm over by the cheek. Lift the top edge of your waist. Exhale, top waist contracts as the leg lifts, arm comes down. Look towards your right hand. 2 more times. Inhaling, arm comes over, ground the back foot. Exhale, lift the leg, look down. Inhaling. Exhaling. Holding it here. Arm can stay down. You can raise it vertically or maybe even take it over by the cheek as you stretch out along the top edge of your body. Keep flowing with the breath. Take the hand to the floor, left hand to the floor. Square your hips, toes point down here. Walk your hands another hand forward. Take a little press up. Exhale. Inhale, push up. Exhale, chest and chin. Slide the right leg away from you. Left leg comes down. Chin and forehead to the floor. Bury your pubis. Pull the hands back. Little baby cobra as you slide your ribcage forward. And then pushing back up onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Come into a first downward facing dog. You can have the elbows soft, a little wider. And maybe just walk your dog, easing into this pose. Roll the hips, whatever feels good, creating a little bit of space. Just coaxing the body to open. Great, and lowering the knees to the floor. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. I'm going to turn around here. Hips above the knees. And floating your left arm out and up as you inhale. Sweep it through, thread the needle, hold this across the floor. Look towards the fingers that feed through. Inhaling, arm rises. Exhale. Anchor through your ankles and tops of the feet. Inhaling. This time we're going to stretch the arm through, letting it rest on the earth. Head comes to the floor, hips above the knees. Support your neck through the back arm and the hand. If you want to play a little, slide your right leg back. You're just resting on the toenails, top of the metatarsal. Hips stay relatively square, and you may be wobbling a little bit here. Maybe even float the leg up. I'm going to flex the foot here. Couple of breaths. And as you take the right toes to the floor, push into the right hand. Take the left hand in line with your left knee. Left toes can slide back as the outer right foot comes to the floor. Right arm onto the top edge of your body. And look down towards the hand that's on the earth. Soften the elbow. And hug the left shoulder blade into the back of the body. If you shift the weight onto the hand as the right leg rises, slide the fingers towards the ankle. Inhale, foot comes to the floor, arm comes up and over. Exhale, lift the leg, arm comes onto the top of the body, look down. Inhale, foot to the floor, arm up and over. Exhale, contracting that top side of the waist as you lift the leg. One more time. Inhale. Exhaling. Arm can stay where it is. It can rise vertically. You can take your arm over by your cheek, reaching out to the top edge of your body. And keeping the leg lifted as you take your right hand to the floor. Square your hips from the strength of your navel. Walk your hands another hand forward. Little press up as you exhale. Inhale, push up. Exhale, chest and chin. Slide the left leg away from you as the right foot comes down. Lift your inner thighs towards the ceiling. Pull your hands back, baby cobra, and push into the hands. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Rooting through the fronts of your hands, roots of your fingers. Spreading the weight across the balls of the feet and each pad of your toes. Great. Walk your feet forward towards the backs of your wrists. Folding over your legs, feet are hip distance apart. Let your head hang off your spine. Maybe give a little nod and shake to your head here. A little bit of space between the axis and axial bones. Leading with your heart, turn the palms up, come all the way up to standing. And as you exhale, grow even taller. And as the thumbs draw down, the pelvic floor and the inner energetic body lift upwards. Ground through the four corners of your feet. Inhale into your heart, exhale down into the pit of the belly. Take a big wide breath as you reach up. Exhale, fly forward and touch the earth. Inhale. Slide the belly forward through the thighs. Look forward a little bit. And as you exhale, step back with your left toes. Lower your back knee to the floor. Take your right hand onto your sacrum. Fingers point the same way as your tailbone. Use your left arm to lift you up. Lift the pit of your belly. Left hand to the outside of your thigh, right thigh. Press the knee out to create the twist. Stabilize yourself with the hand on the sacrum. Turn your shoulders back to the front, raising up your left arm. And circle the arm back freely as you exhale. Take the hand to the floor, belly away from thigh. Reach your right arm back and up. Great. Take the fingertips over to the front. Reach the hips back, lift the front toes, Ardha Hanumanasana. Do a little wiggle of your hips here from side to side, just to feel where they are in space. Centering them as best you can. Spread the toes. Walk yourself back onto the foot. Lift your back knees, step back into a high plank. Lower your knees, tailbone is long, back is flat. Shoulder heads come forward. Hover off the earth in a half chaturanga. And then slide the legs away from you. Baby cobra, lift the heart. Push back onto hands. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Lovely. Float your right leg up behind you. Foot is flexed, so have a little look at that foot. Little toe edge of your foot is dropping vertically down. Now you'll feel your head is dipped here. So spin your gaze or flow your gaze slightly further up. Not too much that you're shortening the back of the neck and lifting the head, but that the crown of the head is an extension of your spine. Bend the knee through, step the foot in between the hands. Bring your back foot forward, feet are hip distance apart as you fold. Come slowly up as you turn your palms up. Soften the knees, root through the four corners of your feet, earlobes over the shoulders. And then rise up to the core of your body as your thumbs draw down. Take an inhale into your heart space. Exhale down into the pit of the belly. Take a big wide breath as you reach up and fly forward, touch the earth, soften the knees. Lengthen your belly forward on your thighs. Spin your gaze along the mat. Inhale, exhale, step back with the right toes. Lower your back knee. Left hand comes onto the sacrum. Right arm rises up by your ear. Lift the pit of the belly. Right hand to the outside of the thigh, pressing the knee out, create the twist. And shoulders back towards the front, raising up your right arm, reach up. Exhale, circle the arm, take the hand to the floor, take the belly away from the thigh, reach left arm back and up. Shoulder blades draw down the back. This left arm continues forward, lifting the sit bones as you hinge back. Little wiggle to the hips behind you so you have an awareness of the back of yourself. Pay a little bit more attention to the parts of yourself that you can't see. And walking back onto the left foot, lift the back knee, step back into a high plank. Lower your knees, shoulders forward at the wrists. Half chaturanga, squeeze the elbows in, slide the legs away. Baby cobra, push into the hands, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Find the stability in this pose as you come home to this friendly creature. Put your left leg up behind you. Flex the foot, little toe edge of the foot drops vertically down, and reach the tips of your ears forward. There's a line from your outer hips through to the tips of your ears. Bend the knee through, step the foot in between the hands. Glide your back foot forward. Fold. Take an inhale, coming all the way up to standing, layering here. Exhale, thumbs draw down towards your heart. Root through the feet, breathe into the heart space. Send the breath down into the belly. Fill the whole body with breath. Feed yourselves with oxygen. Exhale, fly forward, touch the earth. Lengthen the cage forward on the thighs. Inhale, exhale, left foot steps back. Right hand onto the sacrum. So feel the support of those sacral bones, the pelvis. Raise the left arm up. You could soften the back knee here if it helps you to create space in the lower back and length. Twist, left hand comes to the outside of the thigh, press the thigh out to create this twist. Left arm rises, shoulders square. Circle the arm back and take the hand or fingertips to the floor. Belly away from thigh, right arm reaches forward and up. Right fingers coming over, lift the sit bones as you begin to straighten your front leg. Suck your right thigh bone into the socket. Rebend your right knee. Right hand can come onto the ankle or the foot. Back heel comes in and down. Left arm rises. If this feels too low for you, slide the hands up and place the forearm onto the top of the thigh. Pajvakonasana. Curl your right sit bone underneath you. Slight shortening in the front body, lengthening in the back body. And pushing into the right foot, rise up into your warrior two. Turn the armpits, inner elbows and palms towards the ceiling. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, descend, look towards your right fingers. Inhaling, look towards the center of your room or maybe even up. Exhale towards your right fingers. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale, rise up. Turn the toes in here. Slide the hands onto the outer hips. Suck the hips up. Slide the hands down the outer edges of your legs. Take the thumbs to the inner arches or the ankle bones and lift up those arches, those medial arches, without gripping the toes or hardening the backs of your knees. And lift your gaze. Come onto the tips of the fingers in front of you. Turn your left toes out about 10 degrees. And as you bend that left knee, walk the hands over to the foot. Your left elbow then comes inside the knee or shin to help it stay tracking over the middle two toes. Keeping both feet down as you breathe. Coming up, turn the left toes in, right toes out, bending the right knee as you walk your hands across. Just aid that knee, the tracking of that knee with your right elbow. And coming to the center with the toes. Walk yourself all the way over towards the left. Step back into a high plank. Lower your knees or take a full chaturanga. I'm just demonstrating a half one here. Slide the legs away, cobra or up dog. Back into your downward facing dog here. Let's walk the feet forward towards the backs of the wrists. Fold. And coming all the way up to standing as you inhale. Exhale, thumbs draw down towards your midline. Root through your feet. Inhale into the heart. Exhale down into the pit of the belly. Big wide breath. Fly forward, exhale, let go. Inhale, slide the ribcage forward along the thighs. Exhale, step back with your right toes. Back knee stays off. Left hand onto the sacrum. Let your right hand lift you up here. Soften the back knee and wrap the right side of the body forward slightly, narrowing the pelvic bones. Right hand to the outside of the thigh. Press the knee out. Square your shoulders, right arm rises. Circle the arm back as you exhale. Plant the palm to the floor, belly away from the thigh. Left arm reaches back and up. Breathing here. Lovely. Arm comes over. Begin to straighten that front leg. Begin feeling where your hips are, rolling the tops of your inner thighs towards your pubis. And bending your left knee, left hand can come onto the ankle or the foot. Back heel down, right arm rises or come a little higher, forearm onto thigh. Right sit bone rolls underneath you, left sit bone even here. Couple of breaths. Make sure you're not shortening the back of the neck. Using both legs to rise up into warrior two. Armpits, inner elbows, palms turn up. Rise up, straightening the leg. Reach up, inhale. Exhale, descend. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, gazing towards your left fingers without leaning the shoulders forward. So the spine drops vertically. Inhale, like a plumb line, straight down to the center of the pose. Inhale, turn the left toes in. Draw the thumbs to the heart this time and the hands slide down the fronts of the thighs. Down the fronts of the shins, maybe onto the feet or ankles. You could even place the palms flat on the tops of the feet, grounding the feet. Let your head hang. Lifting your chest and coming onto the tips of the fingers. Turn your right toes out about 10 degrees. Walk yourself across and perhaps this time you come all the way to sit down on the heel. Roll your left inner thigh towards the sky so your knee and your toes point upwards. Have the fingertips just on the floor for support. Lift the chest, lift the pelvic floor. This might be enough, or you could see if you could balance here, maybe just for a millisecond. Just keep the gaze on the floor slightly in front of you. Take the fingertips to the floor, lift yourself up, move across, pull the pelvis through the legs, and come over to the other side. Making sure that little pinky on that left cord there. And the knee and the toes point up towards the ceiling. Fingertips. Lower your knees. Bring the shoulders forward at the wrists. Half chaturanga or full chaturanga. Slide the legs away. The Maybe cobra or up dog. Lift your navel, tuck toes. Downward facing dog. Lovely. Take a moment here. A moment to pause with your breath. Walking your feet forward towards the backs of the wrists. Placing the feet together this time. Big toe joints are touching. Heels are slightly apart. Spread your toes. Come all the way up to standing. Floating the arms up. Cross your left elbow over your right. Back to Garudasana arms and sit down into Utkatasana. Take the forearms forward. Squeeze the knees. Maybe pick up your left toes. You want to really squeeze the knees together to make this happen. Reach back, take the toes to the floor, so you're in a lunge. Lift the chest, the arms come with you as you inhale. Exhale, elbow comes onto the top of the thigh. Here, place your back heel in and down so it's a warrior one, and open your arms into an aeroplane position. Give a little bit more width to the feet if you need to. As your right hand floats onto your sacrum, your left arm reaches forward, coming all the way up, smoothing the tailbone long as you inhale. So back heel down. Exhale, float the fingertips to the floor. Inhale, begin to straighten your front leg. Exhale, rebend the right knee. Lead with the left arm as you come all the way up. Twist across towards the right knee. Maybe the elbow comes onto the top or to the outside of the thigh. Place your right palm on top. So your hands are in a prayer position. I'm just going to show you this way. Right leg in front. And pull that hip back, that right hip back, to create lots of length in the side waist. Beautiful. Couple more breaths if you can. Taking the hands to the floor, swivel up your back foot, step back into a downward facing dog. Let's take a moment in child's pose, lowering the knees, flattening the feet. Any child that works for you, arms can be outstretched, down by your side or supporting your forehead. Maybe sway the hips across the heels, let your weight roll across the forehead. Just a moment to cool as we navigate the peaks and troughs of our practice. Heating and cooling the body, making malleable and strong. This is a blacksmith tempers his sword. Heating, cooling, changing the molecular structure of the metal. It's alchemy that we do with our breath and our movement. When you're ready, come up onto hands and knees. Inhale, exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Walking your feet forward towards the front of the mat. Bring your big toe joints to touch, heels are slightly apart, knees are together. Come all the way up to standing as you inhale and drop the right elbow over the top of the left. Sit back into Utkatasana, softening in the creases of the groins. Squeeze the knees together here. Pick up the right toes. And reach back, coming into a lunge. With your left leg in front here. Lift the chest, elbows lift, inhale. Exhale, elbow comes onto the top of the thigh. Extend the arms out into an aeroplane and slip your back heel in and down. So it's a warrior one now rather than a lunge. There's perhaps a bit more stability. Left hand floats onto the sacrum, right arm reaches forward by the ear, lifting the thumb. And this arm helps to bring you up, smoothing the tailbone long here. So a one-armed Virabhadrasana, one. Exhale, float the fingertips to the floor. Inhale, begin to straighten that front leg. Exhale, re-bend the knee. Inhale, reach forward with your right arm to come up. Twist and place the elbow onto the top of the thigh. Right palm on top, making one forearm from your two here and pulling back. Imagine you had your thumb just in the fleshy part of the top of the thigh here, increasing the space in the top edge of the waist. Keep breathing. Wonderful. Taking the hands to the floor, swivel up your back heel, step back into your downward facing dog. Floating your right leg up behind you, flexing the foot and step the right foot in between the hands. Take the right hand to the inside of the foot, walk yourself around into a wide-legged forward fold and come all the way up. Engage your core as you float your arms out to the sides. Wiggle your feet a little bit closer here. It's not as wide as you could make it. Reach out through the fingertips as you inhale. Exhale, bend the knees and sweep the right arm under. Garudasana arms. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, left arm comes under. Get a really nice wrap. Inhale. Exhale, right elbow comes under. Shift the weight onto the left foot. Raise up your right knee. Cross it over so there's no gap between your legs. And you could either let your toes just rest on the floor, just very lightly, or lift the toes, even double wrap the foot if you feel. Go a little bit deeper into your full eagle pose now as you breathe. Rise up, lift the knee, take the foot out, open up the arms. Hands onto the outer legs, slide the hands down onto the ankles as you fold. Bring navel to spine. Draw your chest through your legs. Release. Walk yourself around towards the left foot and step back into your down dog. Last side before we come to seated. Float your left leg up as you inhale. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands. Left hand comes to the inside. Walk yourself around, wide-legged forward fold. Coming all the way up, float your arms out to the sides and wiggle your feet a little bit closer. Reach out as you inhale, and as you bend your knees, it's a little squat. Sweep the left arm under. Inhale, extend. Right arm wraps under. Inhale. Left arm wraps under. You're going to shift the weight onto the right leg. From your core, draw the left knee high. Cross over. The leg can be reaching out. You could place the toes on the floor for a little bit more stability. Reach the forearms forward. Or even double wrap that ankle. Couple of breaths here. Right, rising up. Step the foot out. Open up the arms. Hands float onto the outer thighs. Slide the hands down onto the ankles or tops of the feet. Let your head go. Working yourself around to the right. Step back into your last downward facing dog. And lower your knees to the floor. And just allow a moment of cooling. As you settle, Use this as an opportunity to become even more present rather than zoning out and thinking about what you might be doing or have to do for the rest of your day. Notice if the mind is pulling you in that direction with no judgment. Stretch your arms out in front of you and start to curl your way up to sit on the heels. Bring the knees together, sink the hips over to one side and stretch your legs out in front of you. Come to face me, so you might be sideways on your mat, and perhaps a block to sit on if you have one available. Don't worry if you don't. Take your left ankle, so I'm not mirroring you, left ankle close towards you, and right foot onto the floor. So a bit of bend in your knee. Take the right arm inside the knee, and then it kind of wraps over the ankle to take a hold of the outer edge of the foot here. Keep the arm bone drawn back into the socket. This free arm, it creates a kind of a balancing counter pose, counter action, counter weight is what we're looking for. Shift the weight back. Like a happy baby, you're going to externally rotate. Kick the heel forward and out. You don't need to straighten the leg completely. We'll take an inhale there. Swap hands to the outer edge of the foot. Exhale, take it across. This arm is counterweight. Swap again. Inhaling. You don't need to straighten the leg. We're just opening up the hip. Exhale. It's a fluid movement. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, heel to sit bone, and then maybe the heel comes straight up in line with your sit bone. You could take a hold with both hands, gazing up towards the big toe. If there's too much, hold the shin or underneath the calf muscle and keep the knee bent and the toes spread. Great, and then placing the ankle in front, just sit in your cross-legged position. You may not have the knees to the floor. A moment. And we'll simply change the cross. So your right ankle comes in, left foot comes to the floor. Left arm comes inside and kind of wraps around, spirals around to take a hold of the outer edge of the foot. Draw the arm bone back into the socket as you lean back a little bit. Find your counterweight with the opposite arm. Kick the heel out, inhale. And changing hands, exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. Keep going. Don't strain to straighten the leg. Just a fluid movement in the joint. One more time. And then the heel comes towards the sit bone. The leg extends straight up. Maybe you're taking a hold here of the foot. Although the foot presses up into the hands, the thigh bone draws back. You can gaze up towards the big toe. If this is too much, bend the knee, keep the knee bent, and support underneath the leg. Maybe hands around the calf muscle or the shin. Great. Crossing the shin in front. Let's just come off the block if you're elevated. And just stretch the legs out. We'll take a long Baddha Konasana here. Forward bends tend to be quite crawling in nature. If you did have a prop, you may want to use it to support your forehead. It could be high or it could be medium. You could construct a few blocks if you wanted to feel that gentle pressure on the third eye, or just let your head and neck relax as you come forward here. Elbows spinning outside of the shins, so long Baddha. Imagine if the head was to come all the way down, the heels would catch the head. That's kind of just about the right distance. A couple of breaths here. Notice if you're unconsciously holding your knees upwards. And just having an awareness of the back of your body, your support. Breathing into the back of the body. The front body traditionally associated with the ego. The back body with something greater than yourself. Couple more breaths here. Begin to make your way up out of this. Bring the knees together, feet together. Lift the front of the body and drape it over your thighs. Just slide the hands towards the feet. The knees are slightly apart. You might find you can just snuggle your cheeks inside the knees. Just simply, you could hold on to one wrist just to give yourself a little bit of a bind there. Stop the knees from flopping out too much. And raising your gaze. Just quite a neutralizing pose. Hands to the floor. Shift your sit bones towards your heels and make your way down onto your back. Draw your knees towards your chest, knees are together. Mold the hands over the fronts of the kneecaps and slowly circle the knees around in one direction. Feeling into the sensation as you pass from point to point. And then in the opposite direction. If you do this quite slowly, there may be a few points that you feel you'd like to linger on. Tight spots, tender spots. Placing the feet to the floor. Open your arms out to the sides, feet are hip distance apart, and just drop your knees over to the right. Spread across the shoulder blades, across the chest. Take the knees back into the center. Drop your knees over to the left. Knees back through to the center. Bring the arms down by your sides. You can keep your feet flat and drop the knees in to touch one another. If you need a bit more space and softness in the lower back, Or stretch your legs forward into Shavasana, final relaxation. And dropping everything here. We've done all the hard work, we've stretched and strengthened, and twisted and heated the body. And we let the body cool. We let ourselves settle. Not quite the same as we were when we began just an hour ago. We'll be here just for a minute together in silence. We'll be here just for a minute together in silence. We'll be here just for a minute together in silence. Seems like you have my voice on repeat here, so I'm going to end the session because that's going to be a bit annoying unless you wish to stay a few minutes longer in Shavasana. Thank you, everybody.